Hi and welcome. First and foremost, sorry for a small delay. We had some technical issues, but right now we're here with you. My name is Rafal. With me is Piotr.
Hi.
And yeah, we're here to tell you a little bit about JDM, Rise of the Scorpion.
Yeah, well, first of all, we are very excited to greet you on our stream. Well, we are also very excited about today's launch. We can't wait for you to get your hands on Rise of the Scorpion and play the game yourself. Okay, it's time to show you a bit of gameplay and what awaits you in Rise of the Scorpion.
Exactly, that's what all of you have been waiting for. So here we go. Today on a gamepad, our friend is playing called Shifter. So if you hear us call Shifter out, then yeah, he's the one actually playing the game right now.
So where are we heading now? We're going to see one of the events. This is going to be a very fun and interesting event. One of a few very varied events that you're going to be able to play in JDM Rise of the Scorpion.
Yep, so as we go to the first event we will show you today, a few words about the game itself. So right now you see basically the car of the titular Scorpion. This is the car you will be playing most of the game in. You will be upgrading this car and tuning it, but I think that's
Record video.
We'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, right now we are going right down this beautiful hillside road, and we are traveling to the first event that we'll show you in the game.
Yeah, one of the most exciting things, I think, for a lot of players who are waiting for JDM is the fact that you can visit, those amazing sites and drive down the narrow paths, narrow roads of Japan. There's a lot of attention to detail in our game, and we're very proud of how the Japanese landscape is portrayed in the game. We sincerely hope that all of you are going to appreciate it as well. Okay, here we are.
Yeah, right now we are loading to one of the events you will be able to play basically less than an hour. This event is basically focused solely on drifting. It doesn't matter whether you will be the first on the finish line or last. What matters is actually the amounts of points you will be able to gather while drifting. So we need to be careful in this event, because if you crash into one of your opponents, you will be disqualified. So it's all about the technique and how well you are able to drift and how much points you will be able to gather until you cross the finish line. And basically you cannot cheat, so if the first player crosses the finish line, you will have a timer, and you need to get to the finish line in that timer. So it's not that you can drift for half an hour after everybody goes through the finish line just to score the most points. So you still need to go forward, and you just need to control your car and just earn as much points as you humanly can.
Yes, as you can see, Shifter is an expert in these kinds of events. He's already racking up multiple points, even though he's not particularly in the lead in terms of the race. He's in the lead in terms of points, and this is how you win the event.
Yeah, obviously this is only one of the examples. There will be different events in the game that will have different rules set to them. So although drift is still kind of the most important aspect of this game, there will be, let's call them regular races, which are basically called grip races, that focus you to stay on track, get to the finish line first, and a few different events that maybe we won't be spoiling right now. just so you have something to discover yourselves when Rise of the Scorpion launches very, very soon.
Yeah, in about 45 minutes, you're all going to be able to get your hands on our free prologue and enjoy the events that we've prepared for you, and drive around a big chunk of the map, which is about 30% of all that is coming in JDM Japanese Driftmaster. And yeah.
Yeah, so what can you expect from the prologue? I think like the biggest new or biggest update that you will get since the demo is basically a larger part of the open world that we are working on, as Piotr said seconds ago. You will have a completely new car that we're driving here right now. This is basically the main like protagonist of this game. He will be this car will be with us until the very end, but there will be options to switch to a different car, but we'll get that in a second. So yeah, what else do we have?
I think it's very important to mention that we believe that this is something that we can call a fully fledged prologue because of the story, because the story introduces one of the key characters in the game, but not the one that is going to be the main hero.
No, that's completely okay. Yes, the story tackles, as you can see now on the screen, the most of the storytelling we will be doing is through manga panels. So this is like our take on cutscenes in the game. So if you've never read a manga in your life, basically we have a functionality to highlight which like what's the number, like in what order, yes, thank you, I was lacking the word, in what order you need to read through the story. And yeah, like this happens, like the story in the prologue happens a few years before what you will see in the full version of the game. It's literally a full-fledged prologue. Some of the characters will, or even all of the characters will appear in the game when we launch it, but you know, they may be in different roles. That's something that when you play through the demo you will see for yourself. And yeah, let's go and see a little bit of the world as we drive by. So obviously Japan, you know, the birthplace of drifting. This is like a big dream for us coming true, to basically make a game about drifting in Japan. We know, and we were part of the community that kind of was waiting for a long time to see a racing game, you know, set in Japan. So we are very excited, and yeah, maybe let's talk about a few additional things that you might see new in the prologue. And one of this is something you actually see on the screen here right now. It's the smartphone system. So obviously it will work as your GPS navigation for most of the time, but we have other features here as well.
So yeah, it's a huge upgrade since the demo. It's very fresh, it's different, and it's also very useful, quite handy. You can watch, you can read some of the manga that you've already seen, so you can replay some of the story bits if you want to. Obviously, you can start your events from your smartphone. It also, as Rafa mentioned, serves as your GPS.
Yeah, some of the characters will be in contact with you, yep. So they will be sending you messages. It will also serve as a way, you know, to characters tell you there's an event happening and where you need to go to start that event. And yeah, like everything from, you know, making your settings to basically storytelling. Everything is in the smartphone. It's a very integral part of the whole game. And yeah, like let's not keep you waiting. All let's go to another event. Shifter, if you could, yeah, navigate. Maybe yeah. Let's see the whole map here. Like if you can see, like this is what we have in the prologue available. If you guys have played the demo, you might know some of the places here. But we've expanded it into new different regions. This is like the Kiko village that you start in, basically in the prologue. So it's a small, as I said, village, more urban kind of environment. But we also added a mountainous region into the prologue where you will be able to, go those swirly mountain roads and basically drift your heart out as you go into those narrow corners and try to maintain the drift going all the way from the top to the bottom of the mountain. So yeah, let's go to the next event.
Yeah, I think it's also worth mentioning that even though this is not a one-to-one Japan, obviously, I mean it's still quite accurate, and we've already had some of you pointing out that you know some of the roads that are in the game that you discovered while playing the demo. So yeah, it's a we took a bit of the landmarks and put them in our game, and did a sort of a collage of the best places.
Yeah, I think that's like a very important part of how we created this world. So it's not that we've taken a part of Japan and we just recreated it. What we did is we actually found those really cool roads that the Japanese drifting scene used to drift on. We found those really cool landmarks that we've recreated in the game. So as Piotr said, this is like pieces and bits from all around the Japan to create our fictional prefecture in the game, and obviously you will be able to see all of it. But yeah, like if you see any familiar places as we drive by, let us know. You might be right, you might have been on that road even. So it would be cool to hear those stories from you guys.
This is very intense. What the shifter is showing, the narrow mountain path.
Yeah, so maybe some of you are actually wanting to understand like how much this game is a simulation and how much it is arcadey. So basically how we describe the game is Simcade, which is basically simulation and arcade. Like the backbone of the game is in the simulation roots, but we wanted to open this game up to more players, like feel more fun while taking those turns and corners. So we've been adding like arcadey polish to that simulation underneath. So how we see the game is that it's pretty easy to get into, but it may be very, very, hard to master it, because you really need to be in control over your torque, over how you kind of enter your corners, how much speed you take in as you do those corners. So as they say, like easy to get in, hard to master.
Do you remember the first time you played?
Oh yeah, I did. I think I've tried like 5 times before I finished the first event. But after that, like it gets really easy in terms of like it's this kind of feeling. When you get this feeling and basically how the physics work in the game, it becomes very, very enjoyable. And since like my first not so great beginnings in the game, I just stuck to it and have been playing it almost constantly right now. It's a really cool driving mechanic, and I think both like simulation fans and arcade fans will find it very enjoyable.
Okay, so now we have it into the drift school, right? So we're going to show you some of the lessons that you can also finish in the prologue. Some of them are pretty basic drifting skills. Some of them are more advanced. There's also one really cool thing that I can't wait for people to discover and play in the drift school, which is, I think, something quite unique in terms of recent racing games, and also something that for me personally was very nostalgic to see. But let's wait for Shifter to get to the school.
Yeah, and this is like the perfect example that the world we are providing you in the prologue is not small.
Yeah, it's not definitely not small.
Yeah, if you want to get from one point to another, it might take you a decent few minutes to get there. But yeah, like as Piotr said, we are going to kind of the driving school in the game. This is also the way how we help you learn all the ins and outs of the physics and like game mechanics. So yeah, let's start it and let's see what we have in stock.
Okay, so that's the drift class where you learn the ins and outs of well, basically drifting. There will be different lessons for you to finish. This one is about maintaining the drift
Yeah,
for
so
as long as possible. This was very hard for me to be honest, when the first time I played this.
yeah, but like I think you get it really quickly,
Yeah,
like how you need to position your
Mhm.
car. But yeah, like going to the school is absolutely mandatory for basically getting a sense of how you should ride in Rise of the Scorpion.
It's really cool because also you can, I mean, we've said at the beginning that for most of the prologue we're going to use only one car, but when you go into the drift school you can also, you know, have a feel of other cars that are going to be in the game. There's also one other place where you can do that, but we're going to mention that a bit later.
Yeah. So to ease you basically into some of the school lessons, we are providing cars that are basically, you know, tuned to be best, or it will be easiest for you to achieve what the lesson is. So we've seen like the drifting lesson. Now let's see the grip lesson, or did you run the drift?
So that's
another
the
drift.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
you learn
so-
how to position your car into corners, so how to clear the corners, the turns.
But as we mentioned, like this is hard. So basically what happens in this event is that, in this lesson, is that you need to properly position either the front of your car or the back of your car. This lesson is meant for you to kind of get an understanding of how you need to position your car to drift properly in the game. But as we said, like drift is obviously our focus in this game, but we don't limit ourselves to drift. So we have also grip classes.
And grip racing.
And grip racing, yep. So grip is basically what you normally see in racing video games, is, you know, the technique of basically being on the road and finding the most perfect ways to stay on the road and get to the finish line the fastest, basically. So this is like the first lesson. Obviously it's pretty easy. You just need to follow the perfect route that will lead you to the finish line. So whenever you see the green arrows, that's you're right on track. If you stray from this path, you will see red lines, right? And this is the indication of how well you are doing on the track. But we also have one additional lesson.
That's my favorite.
And something that we haven't seen in racing video games for a while, and something we really wanted to put in JDM, which is drag racing.
Yeah, which is something that I haven't seen in a very long while. That's the first thing. And the other thing is, I mean, you may wonder why this is in a drifting game, but it is also a huge thing in Japan to take part in those races. They're not called drag racing.
420, I think.
Yeah,
something like that. Is the original Japanese name, and please don't kill us, Japanese players that are watching us right now. We are just not sure. But yes, drag will be in the game. We'll have drag races, and as you've seen, there are a few steps to a drag race. First, you kind of need to warm up your tires. And then, you know, the technique comes down to basically how well you shift your gears and how much speed you can gain before you cross the finish line as the first.
Okay, so we've showed you the lessons. We're going to show you one more thing because we could talk about our game for hours, but that's not the point. The point is for you to try it, which is going to be happening in about half an hour when the game releases on Steam. Just a reminder, it's a free prologue to JDM Japanese Drift Master. It is called JDM Rise of the Scorpion. And yeah, let's maybe go to the dealership, to the car dealership, and show a few surprises there. Just, you know, not to spoil too much, just a few, and we're going to tell you a bit more about the cars available in the game.
Yep. So yeah, I think that's something that most people didn't expect from us. To see what we'll show you in a second. But yeah, it was very important for us to make this game set in our reality. So as you might imagine, what we are trying to say here is that we started working with companies with not motorsport, but basically automotive car manufacturers and automotive companies. So we will be bringing licensed cars to JDM, and it starts with JDM Rise of the Scorpion. We have our first partners, and you will be able to test out some of those cars through the dealership that we are actually going to right now. This will be test rides, so you won't be able to just switch your car and play through the entire prologue in that car. But definitely you can test it out, you can see how it drives.
Roam the free.
Basically have fun with those cars. So yeah, the first partner that we have here is Mazda. Obviously a big name in Japanese automotive and a big name for us as well. Then we have Subaru. That's also a legendary Japanese company. And more are coming.
Yeah, definitely. So keep your eyes peeled for our announcements as we're going to disclose new licenses in the future. But for now, enjoy the cars available in the prologue that you will be able to play very soon.
And yeah, this is just what we've been showing you and telling you about. This is only the beginning of what you will see in JDM Rise of the Scorpion. So I guess we wish you happy driving in Gunsama, so our fictional prefecture in the game. We hope you will have fun. The game is free to play. You will be able to jump into it in about half an hour and play it through Steam, GOG, and Epic. So whatever is your platform of preference, you can start, launching your launchers and preparing to jump into the game very, very shortly.
Yeah, and remember to enjoy yourself. If you have enjoyed yourself, it would be very nice to hear from you. We are very eager to hear and read your feedback. because I mean, community is such an integral part of how we want to move forward with the development of Japanese Drift Master. It's very important for us to hear your thoughts.
And what we wanted to finish this presentation with is actually a big thank you to all of the people that have been following us, to all of the people that were hyped about this project as much as we are. It's hard to describe how much fuel it gives us to work even harder on this project and bring you the best possible racing experience that you will be able to play very, very soon.
Yeah, and actually we just had a big info coming to us. The game is going to go live in about 5 minutes. So yeah, we couldn't wait for you to get your hands on it. So yeah, quick update, it's not coming out at 4 p.m, it's coming out in 5 minutes. So get ready to play. And I think it's time for us to say goodbye, because we should really give our community enough time to get ready.
Thank you for being with us right now. Thank you for being with us for the past months. And have fun. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Let's drift.